Well, you're all to the screen all right. As normal, just start in a couple of minutes. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, guys in now, 1:30. We can get started. Good. Okay, looking at a couple of trades I think we've set. Well, I hope we've sent out. It's going to have to stop the cage, just let them in. Morning, everybody. Rise and shine. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. Yeah, you buggers. The morning's fine. That's used to say apparently in the old days. I've got a sell out on this one. Gold, really. Run about these levels. Yeah, you've probably got a trade idea. I posted on my QT group personally, so you get it updated soon it was sort of realized and etc. Instead of passing around waiting, I post on my QT WhatsApp. You should have got both those trades. There's another one coming out later on for my idea. One of you guys yesterday actually is Intel. That one there as looking at as a possible sell, but that'll be posted later because the market's later. Just discuss anyway. Always remember, guys, put a pending order in if you want to get it a better price. But yeah, it's slightly better price than that. It's 1898 is the sell area, and it's 1898 or 1899. It's a better price. Don't, for goodness sake, put a sell stop in. If you want to get a better price at sell limit, that's your choice. But if it's sell stop, that's the wrong one. Because you don't want to go at a worse price. So obviously we get a better price. So it says sell at 1895, and the price clear at the moment is 1900. $5 a barrel better, about $5 an ounce better price. So you want to go to market because you get a reduced risk and a higher TP. I hope you got that the right way around. So okay, only hope it's not. I know you've been doing it before, so maybe don't take it the wrong way. If you know, that's fine. Just checking. It's not a sell stop. It's a market order, a sell limit. Just want to make sure everyone understands that. Because sometimes you put in a sell stop in, meaning that the wait to get a worse price. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, and the other one, NZDCHF. You should have all got it. If you're not, it should be NT5 mailbox. You should have all got it. If not, we'll put the stuff up for you. No problem at all. The RR's the stuff. The RR for you. NZDCHF, it's about the same. Getting around the 86 mark. It's 84 on the sell, 89 on the bid. So yeah, if you like it, go in the market. There you are. All stuff was said. Okay, fine. meant by that. Don't, goodness sake, put a sell or a buy stop in for getting a better price. The price is always on the EP, it's there or better. It's slightly worse the price, and you've got to sort of work out the calculation, see it's worth chasing or not. No problems. Okay. So those two send out, and it'll be INTC. Whose idea was that? It was Jacob. I can't remember whose idea it was. But anyway, I put it forward this morning, and they liked it. And so, seeing a possibility of doing side on this one, we should be posted obviously near the opening time. Now, even got a fib near there as well. So even got a 50% fib, 100-day, a 50-day, a moving average, and a bit of support area down there. And Mark's not on the moment, but he's in the IT business, and he's been suffering a bit from the competition. So anyway, we agreed that to sell. So keep an eye on that for Upper opening. Well, let's have a look at it first. The best way to look at it is look at the price and see, what do you think? I'm not check it out because I want you to look at it yourself and see what you think. Enter DCHF. Entry 86, it's now 82. Do you think that ship sailed? That's 4 pips. Anybody think that ship sailed, or do you think that's doable at 4 pips differential? Hello, anybody there? 4 pips different. Do you think that's doable? That's what I think, Nico, yeah. 4 pips, all right. I think up to maybe 10 pips. That's just a broad, that's a rule of thumb, not exactly, nothing's exact. But I think even 8, 9, 10 pips, maybe chase it a bit, but yeah. No problem. 4 pips not going to make a horrendous difference. You got to suggest, you got to look at it and think, yeah, hang on a minute. Is that ship sailed, or am I getting a better price? Because it's sent out. I mean, you know, the trade idea's got to come up with and put together. The market's not going to sit and wait for me or for you or the company or whatever. So you've got to make that decision on the information in front of you. I don't think it's that really that difficult. Okay. Definitely doable. Okay, yeah. Okay, the GBP CHF. If you like it, guys, we might send it out. I mentioned today, and then we got those out, so you might send it. Those who took it were in at 28. It's now obviously at 15. We sold at 28 on the bid, and it's now 15, so it's slightly in profit. Should we hang 5 on that? If enough people want to do this, I'll repost on the trading support, and it will go out to obviously anybody in the trading room, plus it go to the VIP group. You with me? It won't go to everybody, just to the VIP group. I quite like it, but obviously my credibility is at stake here. I don't want to send out rubbish, just because for my sake, really, because I want to maintain credibility. You know? See, this is the trouble. Guys asked me for a Zoom ID, but then so for what? People seem very reluctant to give any information away, and then they wonder why the answer is not the correct one because they haven't given correct information. Guys, to me, please send me the Zoom ID. ID for what? The micro at 1 o'clock or this one? I'm assuming he means the micro one because it's been on here before, so surely that must be what he means. Put that down again, actually. Yeah, actually, you can see it. Oh yeah, thanks Vicky for that. Yeah, well, I pushed it for that because I thought it was going to wait all sodding day on this. So I said I'm going to personally bang it on my QT group, not just a press, copy, press, paste. You get the idea. So it's fascinating, and it's not the company fault. Trust me, they're pretty good at it. It's often getting the template sorted out to want to move it. We want to move the thing forward. But I was just going to do this quickly. I post on the group. Some guys are not on that group, so it's going to put some. There we are. Okay, there's the ID to join if you do want to for the 1 o'clock. Just a second. Yeah, for the 1 o'clock show, which I'm doing. If you, like I mentioned, if you already know it, don't bother. But I strongly suggest you get the micro, the Nas and Dow micros. There's information. I'm spelling it out again. That's why I keep them short. So I'm stating the obvious, and it gets tiring. If you want to know about it, join. Right? Don't join. I mean, yeah. Simple as that. Okay. I think it'll be very useful for you. Very useful. But obviously, don't join if you know about it. Because it enables people to go in the most exciting instruments on the exchange, really, is the Nas and Dow. Very exciting. They move. People like them. And as indices comes up many stocks. Now you can trade them. Before you didn't have the balance. Now you can. Cake and eat it. So forget about S&P. Don't worry about S&P. Too much data issues there. And even there weren't. Nas and Dow, micro, and you can go bigger. And if it goes, I'll ask about maximum again today. But even if it goes to the maximum, you want to go bigger, we'll leave some of the micro and some on the normal, depending on what you can afford in your account. I can't overstate, guys. Something before you start trading, you know how to operate the platforms, you can place a trade and do the basic arithmetic of working out volumes and understanding that sort of area. And I've got one guy, clearly I'm going to mention the name, and he's been a platform training a couple of times, and he still can't grasp when he gets a trading signal how to work out a volume. And that flummoxes me. I mean, I don't see why that's that complicated. Just an hour ago. But I mean, I can explain it now. It's quite straightforward. Yeah, we got, yeah, no, look at NZDs, we just said that, so there's not much point discussing. I already have anyway. If you like it, go for it. Okay, no, just about, we'll do it right now. Save me time. It just want to get the maths. I don't think it's, the maths seems to be a problem here. I don't know what it is. It's pretty straightforward. Go to specifications, go to specification. It says contract size 1. Go to the normal one. That's the micro one, obviously. Go to the normal one, contract size 10. I mean, clearly one's 10 times larger than the other. And I could see better grasp that. Say, to be honest. Okay, so in other words, if you're going 0.01 on the normal one, that's equivalent to 0.1 on the other one, because it's 10 times the difference. No more, no less. So if you're going to risk, let's say 50 Rand a micro on the Dow on this one, on the obviously the normal one be 10 times as much, so it'll be 500 Rand a micro. So you put 0.01 on this one, the risk will be 1/10 per 0.01 than this one per 0.01. Is anything, because I've asked a few friends who go out and immediately grab it and they say, it's not the way I explain it. And say, well, obviously, yeah. Is anything complicated about that? Am I explaining it wrong? Because I can't move the decimal point. You know, what is it about this that people are not getting? And that's why I'm getting a bit frustrated. Do you understand? You don't have to make it, Nick. That's all it's trying to say. Grab it, go to the portal, go to opening another account. You've already opened accounts. How to do that? You're already an account manager. You need help, and open a micro account. The difference is, if you're going in 0.01, it's something like 50, 60, 70 bucks a micro risk compared to 500, 600, 700, because it's 1/10. It's 10% the size of the contract value. Do you understand what I'm saying, Nico? Because I need some help here. This is like 2-year-old arithmetic that people are battling with. It's getting to me, to be honest. They want a complex derivative market and they don't know how to understand a decimal point. I mean, we've got a problem. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, not good. Get me worried then. Okay, just open, you can open the account before, choose a 501 or 101 or 201 or a Michael, whatever, you choose the option. It's as simple as that. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Yeah. So the Dow, I've got up on the screen at the moment. Some guys are in it. Some guys should be still in it. We mentioned it yesterday. It's a bit slow on the micro. It doesn't matter because the stop is wide enough to take hold of that. And if you do get stopped out, that happens, and you're not going to be over concerned because you got your volumes correct. Okay. So yeah, I still think it's got a bit of downside there. It's pretty quiet at the moment. If anyone wants to join it, can do it. It's very quiet. But we've got interest rate decision coming out next week on Wednesday, 8 p.m. That's the US. So 8 p.m. next week. Well, we'll talk about more next week. I'm just giving you an update now. With the US interest rate decision, like I said, 8 o'clock next week on Wednesday, 22nd, and then I think it's about 3 o'clock-ish the week after, which is the end of the month. Will be on the Wednesday again. Will be the local one. That's not for trading, just so you know, on knowledge, depending what interest rate decision is going to make there. Remember, I'm talking about South Africa now. The GDP was way below expected. It was horrendous. Released the last month. And so I don't know where they're going to start saying we're crippling the economy by increasing, but we're going to run away inflation. We don't. I don't envy the guy's job. It's a tough job. LK, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce it. He's got a tough job on there. How we're going to rescue it, because the endemic corruption is now it's like a cancer, so entrenched. I mean, every day something comes out in some other area. It's either incompetence or basic corruption. That it's on the brink of a failed state. Let's be honest about that. And when that starts to occur, the problem is the guys who got the skills, the taxpayers, the money start because they can. Simple as that. Don't want to, but they go, and that leaves even less talent to work with. So it is a worry. So how he's going to overcome that with interest rates at the end of the month, I don't know, but suspect it maybe will be increased, which means your bond go up, your loans, obviously repayments will start to increase, which probably mean more defaulting. It's a serious issue. Yeah. Okay. Good. Just go back to yesterday. It's a bit disappointing yesterday being, I think the last one was about the same as expected. But I hope you all understood that CPI can be very good indeed, unless we get the indecision area as expected. The market didn't know what to make of it. But if it is a disparity, like I mentioned, you can get decent movement. And trust me, anyone who's done the non-farms on Friday last week realizes you can make an easy, quick buck out of it. So stick with it. There's a PPI coming out later on. We're not doing a special zoom on it because not normally, I don't want to jump the gun here, but not normally it's a bigger move as a CPI. But then again, it will be a bigger move if there's a big disparity. Remember, CPI didn't have a disparity. PPI, if it does, might create more of a move. Doesn't mean to say it's suddenly more important. It's just because that disparity. We're all clear on this one. I think it's Moody's now are clamping down on quite a few banks up there. I always worry about overseas media because it tends to be more sensational and factual. But I have through Bloomberg, etc., that after the SVB collapse, and Signature, there are other ones coming under the radar as well. So keep an eye on that. But it's not looking pretty there either. So yeah, be careful of long positions, in my opinion. Yeah. Well, Nico, what happened is, remember, what happened last time, they got bailouts. They're not getting bailouts anymore, but the government is handling liquidity. So in other words, Nico, you've got your money in Standard Bank, right? And Standard Bank suddenly feel that they need maybe a couple of billion rand to sort them out. When that hits the news and you've got money in that bank, you panic. You don't read any further. You panic. You get in the car, get to the bank, and draw the funds. Well, that's what happened. Now, what they're saying is the government will look after and keep liquidity with the depositors, but if the bank goes under, the shareholders will lose. I'm sorry for the shareholders, but they went in with a risk taken. So you're a shareholder in, I don't bank it, but let's say it was a Nedbank, and you're a shareholder in that, you will lose. But the more the worry is, the guys who've got life savings in that bank will be sort of covered. That's the basic differential. But we're all clear on that. It's a major difference, because that's purely put out there to keep peace of mind. Otherwise, once we get runs on the bank, then we have a cataclysmic nuclear nightmare in the financial systems. You with me? Okay. Yeah. So I just want to read that again. I think it was clear what we wrote there. Yeah. South very different. Remember, South Africa is very different to Europe or the US for no other reason, sheer size of the economy. It's obviously smaller. I mean, obviously smaller. But having said that, it doesn't mean to say that nobody cares. People do care. And so, yeah, and quite frankly, it's a human thing. Move away from money, it's a human thing, you know. There's people that will start going on the bread line, etc. Yeah, I think most of us, hopefully, here are decent people. We don't wish that on anybody unless there's something wrong with you, you know. And especially, it's been resultant of indescribably appalling leadership, which seems to be the name of the game in Africa. I don't know what it is. It seems to attract bloody terrible leaders. You know, look at them, Haiti. Look at Pastor. Look at them. And Mugabe, whether you like him or not, seemed to turn into some sort of dictator in the end. Just seems to attract bad leaders. And it's such a pity because obviously there's talents there, like anywhere else, but not human being there, educated or not, like everywhere else. And yeah, and it just seems to be that way. Why can't do like Norway did, nationalize it, make use of it, and make the country rich? And they'll become rich as well, but no, don't seem to see it. And it's a pity because the human fallout is so awful. Right, Brent, yeah, it's a bit quiet at the moment, but I mean, it's nowhere near the stop. 78.60. Most people took profit in the first one, came back to us and well, send it out again. So I suggest the company send it out again, which they did do. And yeah, for another entry, I think 78.60. It's down a little bit, but we got about a $3 stop, if I remember rightly. So within that level, it's hovering around a bit. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Let it run. It's slow. And I know what's happening when dealing company. You're used to fast movements. It's suddenly slow. You think, what's going on here? You get bored. You get, what's going on? It's like being driving 180 on the N1, you know, and then something down through the crew on it, empty roads, straight roads, that sort of thing. And they're doing about 180, and then they suddenly come to traffic, it jumps down to about 110. 110 is not like stopping, but it feels like you come to a standstill because you're used to doing 180, if you know what I mean. Not just you break the law, isn't it? Just the comparison. So it seems pretty boring at the moment. You think this is boring, try and buy equity, sit on that for a few years. Well, yes, you're quite right on that, without doubt. But and unfortunately, I think it's the same with the United States. I mean, doddering old sod, poor old Biden, and at least we've got free speech to say it. Some countries say that, like in North Korea, put in jail, and that's the end of that. At least we're free to say it. It gives you one thing, we are free to make these comments. You wouldn't have made this in Zimbabwe and the Mugabe regime, the 5th Brigade would have you. But so at least that good, I suppose. But yeah, Biden's saying that he's put in there the big money, obviously, cut a deal with him. You know, we'll support you, control the media, and cut a deal when you get the power. Not as bad as the Gupta scenario, but there's similarities there. But unfortunately, the puppets, greedy puppet, whatever, it's a bit greedy, but they're puppets, yeah. Right, I want to discuss what Nico just said there. You come up trade ideas, remember the rules of the den, as they say? Either unmute or no, but convey the information to me, whatever method possible, and we'll look at it immediately. Start talking normally, because everything I'm doing is coming down, start getting nerves a bit. Let's talk like adults in proper language, okay? So think, Matt, communicate. Okay, right. Now let's come to that. Adding layers. So some people come to that question. Some people said it's doing well. Can you add to a winning trade? Absolutely. I mean, you can see you got in here for a long. It's going up nicely. You look at you've got the knowledge now to see the potential is higher. You might want to add a bit. So you don't have to sort of say, right, I'm going to cut a bit as it goes up or whatever. You might actually can add a bit on the way up. Mostly what people mean, I think what you mean, is you want to get in at this price here, but it might not get there. And if it doesn't get there and you're not in, it shoots up, you're not on board. So what you can do is you work out what you're about to risk. So Mr. Jones happens to have, I don't know, let's say 20,000 Rand in their account. They're happy. I'm not saying you're happy with it. You might want to risk 200. You might want to risk 2,000. But let's just pretend Mr. Jones, if you lose all 20 grand, it's not going to be a train smash. So you might say, I'm prepared to risk not 2 or 3%, but 5% capital. He can afford it. So he's worked out in his mind, he's comfortable with it. So 5% of 20,000 is clearly 1,000 Rand. You get it? So he says, right, I want to do this trade, but I want to get a better price, but I don't want to risk missing it. So what I'm going to do is maybe put in layers now. Maybe you'll put 250 in here. If it comes back, another 250. If it comes back, another 250. It comes back, another 250. So you'll have different layers. You'll have the original stop down here, but some will enter there if it comes back. If it doesn't come back, well, you've only risked 250, but at least you're on board. And then if it comes up, you might start saying, well, I'm going to add to my winning trade, but adding now. But I might not put a full 1,000 in now. They've got my stop loss down there, and I'll be getting 1,000 Rand risk. This is where you need to be on the top of your head. I'm doing all the top of my head. I'm not doing calculators. You need to get practice to the top of your head. No, hang on. If it's going up there, it's looking good. You can add to 250 more risk because the stop loss is no more there. You've modified it. So the guy going in there hasn't got a stop loss down to here. He's only got a stop loss down to here because he's already modified it because it's in a winning trade until it's going up a little bit further. Now your stop loss is above your first two. You've got 4 trades, 250 Rand risk each. Is about the other 250. So you've only got the risk on the other two. Do you understand where I'm coming from? These are the ways that people who understand the basic arithmetic think on their feet doing. But if a guy can't see sees 0.04 and doesn't want to put 0.05, the signal says 0.04, it's very difficult how you deal with that. Because, you know, how can you possibly talk about the things that we talk about now, which need to be understood to start getting you more professional in your trading aspect? Are you with me? So even if you're now in this position here, this position here, this position here, this position here, with different trades at 250 Rand risk each, it's not you're risking more than 1,000. The stop's down there anymore. You've modified it because the thing is not there anymore. It's now up here. And you see where I'm getting with. You see the concept I'm talking about there, Nico, and everybody else out there. And that's absolutely. But I'm frightened to discuss with people because they don't seem to know what the difference in 10 and 1 is. And I thought we're going to be here all day, you know. But that's the sort of language I want to be talking with you guys, you know. And we get good. You got the concept. Of course, yeah. But I sometimes hesitate to point stuff out to people because they can't understand the basic stuff. How can I start pointing out the slightly more complex stuff? That's why, you know, it's just don't hold this thing, throwing in the air and get enough guys who've got the nous to maybe have a separate trading room where we just discuss trades per se, but spending time on basically on 2 and 2 is 4 kind of thing. So, you know, we can get those in to get moving on these. But you don't want to start getting advanced driving tests, they're back to change gear, you know. And it's not whether you're a beginner or not, it just seems that the basic educational levels of understanding it's nothing to do with trading, it's just doesn't seem to be there. And to say you need it if you're looking for a job in anything, you need basic reading and writing, arithmetic skills and that sort of thing. That's another good point, Nico. Yeah. If you're not sure the difference in the future and the spot prices, you hear it mentioned, you got a phone at hand there, bang it into your Google, and there it is. Absolutely. Say, because if a person's still battling to change gear in the motor car, you can't really start taking them into, you know, advanced driving tests. And I say, overwhelming, don't come to training on overwhelming, then you do platform training. The figures that attend the classes compared to people who bought the course, it's tiny percentages. I don't know how they expect to actually, you know, do anything if they don't actually get the basic knowledge. And if they do, they're actually grasp that. Yeah. So let's move on. Okay, yeah, so yeah, Nico, please join in, ask these questions, etc. And then, you know, we can start moving on and spend less time on the basics and more time on the trading. Having said that, if we don't have any trades, it's not a problem because we can push a trade out of boredom for the sake of it, and we do the clarification of it. But I sometimes think it's not sinking in because, you know, 3 months later, that's a question that should be learned, you know, a while back, you know, and or they don't interact or they don't ask or whatever. So I encourage people to interact like you do, Nico, so we can answer those questions, you know. Remember, I was at a CPI and the NFP, over 100 people on there. I said, come on, join us a trading room. You don't seem to. They don't like me, but I'd rather be harsh and straight than be nice and fluffy and they're losing money, you know. So most information today seems to be gained from social media, and that is where the problem is, and that's just simplistic propaganda. Is it good stuff, Curly? Good to have you back, though. I missed you. I think you've been strong. Well, starting to. It's nice to know it's starting to. Thank goodness. But you know what it's like. Turn around and go to the loo, come back, things change your solid mind. DBPCH chef. Nobody's keen on this thing. I'm not trying to push it in case I'm wrong. So I'm keeping a bit open-ended. But anybody, I know it's not a lot of followers on that previous candle, but I don't know, I still think we could get something out of this. We're not keen, are we? I'll leave it alone then. If you want
I
to keep
mentioned yesterday, Raj.
okay, fine. Yeah, and you're in profit at the moment. You've got a higher price. That's good.
Yes,
Anybody?
about 8 pips.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, because remember, you've got the spread, quite a wide spread on this. You don't want to go down that road again. I don't sell them. Okay, on my case. But yeah, but you got 28 on the bid. It's now 11 on the bid. It's actually the differential 17, which 5 making up the part. So that's fine. Good. But anyone like it? Put their hand up. Say so. Otherwise, I'll move on. Pietro, at least you're not keen. At least you're responding. That's fine. Okay. NZDCHF. Yeah, it just come off a bit. Hey, LIA. Thanks, Tony. But this is what I want you to get. People like that who can look at it and make a decision whether they want to do it or not. I'm trying to get away from this blind following a signal. Some that go without even look at the entry price, jump in because they pick up their phone 3 hours later or look at their laptop 3 hours later. And they don't think, well, they get in at 57 on the dot, for argument's sake, and it's now 56.50. That's a 50 pip differential. I should realize that they jump in and they leave the stop of the original and it goes wrong now and they get stopped out. And instead of losing 80 bucks, they lose 100 rand and say our risk figures are wrong. Well, they didn't enter at the price we said. We entered a completely different price. Much as say again at 57 and it's now 57.10 for a short and it comes off. You won't, and you're not risking 80 rand anymore, and you're risking 70 rand. You got a better price. And if it's a TP, you're getting a higher TP than the recommended amount because you got a better price. What is it about this people not understanding? And it's very difficult to go into the complexity of real trading down the line if basics like that aren't grasped. If you can understand the frustration. And then, of course, they're upset because they're losing. I don't want to lose. No one wants anyone to lose. I mean, you're a decent person. You want to help them, but if you can't grasp that, it's going to be difficult to go in more depth. That's why I'd always put the yields in the 10-year note up, because they don't seem to understand it. But it's important. Google it, get the hang of it. Don't understand. I've been a platform trainer, understand it. So they asked me to explain on the WhatsApp number. You can't go to a Zoom session and understand after an hour and a half. How can I explain it? Nobody, it's not my job to explain it. That's not the point. We're on a live chat, Help me trade, show me how to trade in a live chat. WhatsApp me, say, how do I become a doctor? Does anyone think, Incredible. And the rest of the world ain't waiting, You follow. Okay. So no one else we'll leave that alone. Intel, as I call it, INTC, Intel Corporation, be a sell, but we'll release that later again, because people come back and it takes our time up, So some of the systems on end of the trade, they don't know it owns R+3 and things like that, or they put 0.01 in because they don't realize it says 1.0 in the signal is $1.40 or 25 rand. They put 0.01 in, but it says 25 risk for 1.0. I mean, it's hectic. Okay, any questions, anything you're not sure of? If you see a trade, that comes first, as per normal. But I put my number on anyway. You're looking for a sell on that one, are you? What is the dollar doing? The dollar strengths a little bit. I wouldn't get too excited, jump around a bit. It's a little bit better. Dollar CAD, right? Yeah. Yeah, Canada's actually I think the Canada's a bit oversold at the moment. I think that the Canadian could gain forward good strength of it. It's a high resource country, whether like its leadership or not. A lot of problems in Vancouver, probably same Montreal, with the woke easing up on penalties. So the lot is sort of becoming a lot more drugs and problems there as a result of it. Life sentences and people are frightened to pull a gun out in case the leader will nail you as the policeman, that sort of thing. There's a lot of workism there. I get that, Trudeau particularly. But overall, the economics, it's not got the enormous population of America. Yes, it's an enormous country, and it's got resources. So it's not bad. I think the Canadian could get a bit stronger. So from this point of view, technically speaking, it looks to me like a buy on this one, technically speaking. But I'm just worried what's happening to this dollar with the bank problems they got there, and then what Powell's going to do next week, and PPI coming out this afternoon. I'm getting nervous of the dollar. I still think it's sold, so it could get a bit of a bounce, but I'm a little bit worried about the Canadian. There's a lot of aspects on this that make me nervous. And if you look at the 4-hour, maybe, you see, again, it's indecision. We talked about yesterday's afternoon show, a lot of indecision moving around. And unfortunately, I'm going to be that. I'm doing that indecision on this one. Technically, yes, but I think there's so many other areas that could happen. I'm a bit nervous of it. Who's calling me there? No numbers come up or anything. Sorry about that. But it took too long to answer and say I'm in a meeting. But anyway, never mind. Okay. Yeah, I'm nervous. Okay, you agree. Thanks, Peter. AUDJPY. AUD for sure. Okay. Yeah, I looked at this morning. I'm going to be honest. I looked this morning. I'll go to the day chart quickly. And to be honest, I saw that as well. Yeah, don't know why. Maybe something else came down, because I thought this is not a bad idea. And maybe someone else came up. I hesitated. I actually don't know why, because I think that's quite right. It's a possibility. Can we all see why? Not just say because I say so, why? Well, it's clearly in the sell zone. It's below all the moving averages. It's broken through, come back and test this area here. As you can see, using the body, and that's, it's not the strongest resistance the world ever seen, but it is a bit of resistance. In this case, now it's support. It sets the support and some sellers on the wick defending it. Simple as that. Nothing more complicated than that. That support area has been defended. You can see it. So we scrunch it a bit more. Not really going to help much there. So we'll go to a weekly. It's a little less, a bit clearer. So even going back on the weekly, there is going back there a bit of support area there. So yeah, and it's a neutral, so you can sell it on that one. Now going back to the 4 hour, it's below all three on the 4 hour, backs you up. It tried to break up, sellers came in. If we put a stop up here, it's only 40 pips away, so we can put a bit wider. Maybe put up, maybe slightly higher. Put it up there. 68 is nothing. It's not a big problem. When did it last there? It was there night before you do the 15th, it's about a week ago. It's a 4 hour chart, remember. Let's look at the daily. Maybe up here, it's going to reach there. It's a bit far to take it there, ideally. So maybe we can take it there, maybe 90 pips instead. How far can we take it down? Got to do at least at 1.5. Yeah, you could probably take it down to there for a TP. Let's look at the 1 hour. It is hovering, but it's coming back. Look, even on the hour, which is 9 minutes old, there's a few sellers coming in. It's better on that one. You see the wick. Few sellers coming in. It did the previous hour. I don't know, 15 minutes going to tell you, but yeah, yeah. And look at the fundamental side. Aussie and Japanese, they're pretty similar. Only little bit of worries is the Aussie that weak, and I think the Japanese might. A few bond buying areas are strengthened a bit, but I'm not sure how long that's going to continue. But since I don't know what's going to happen on the fundamental front for the two of them, and they're not outrageously dissimilar in strength, I think we can maybe just leave that side of the calculation alone and look purely at the technicals. And on the technicals, who came up with this? And on the technicals, Tony, I think you might have something here. I actually do. I actually do think you might have something here. Thank you, Ken. Now, the best way to get on the right side of anybody on the planet is to tell them stuff they want to hear. Oh, it's factual. Good news. We love it. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, we have the PPI, but we'll see what happens there. We can't stop trading because these come out. PPI is not as important as CPI. Having said that, you could get a bigger movement depending on what the figures are. It's exactly the same as CPI. Clearly, it's exactly the same. If it's a radical difference for whatever reason, PPI, it will have more of an effect. And then turn around and say, well, you said the CPI was bigger than PPI and had a bigger effect. I want to think the reasons to why. In other words, I want to engage people again to start thinking a little bit and learning so they can think for themselves. And then they're more in control. We're here to assist, but it's important you want to be in control yourself. But I think that's quite good. I quite like it, actually. Coming back to that. Yeah, Anthony, I'm with you on that one. Anybody else? Anybody else's opinion on that? Do you want to look at a bit more depth? Anybody check out anything more? But I have to say, I think you might have some here. No, I don't worry about PPI. We're not doing a dollar one anyway. It's Aussie Japanese. We're not doing a US dollar one at the moment anyway. PPI, no PPI. I'm a bit nervous at dollar one. Don't know where it wants to go. When you got indecision in your hands, walk away. I would say, you know, from a lady's perspective, you ask a lady, I'd like to take you out to supper. And she says, yes. And then you say to her, where do you want to go? And she says, where do you want to go? I don't know. Where do you want to go? That's not attractive in a man. You want someone decisive, you know? The US dollar is a bit of a metro man at the moment. A bit indecisive. What do you call it? A beta male, not an alpha male. Yeah. Okay, you like it, Pietro? Clearly, I would assume that Anthony likes it because he suggested it. Anybody else like it? I'll put the R up and tell me if you're in for it. If a lot of people like this one, I'll put it on the trading support, and then the other guys can benefit. It's on the day. Yep, just make chest check on the daily. It's just about there. And then I'm going to put the stop loss down here. sorry, TP 88.40. This will be sent to the VIP group. If you're in here, it doesn't matter what group, it's irrelevant. It goes and sent to the VIP group. 1.7 is fine, 128 is fine. I like it. I've got a thumbs up from me, thumbs up Pietro. Clearly, I'm assuming it's a thumbs up from Antonio's his idea. Anybody else like it?
I think I'll take it, Mr. Rogers.
No, I disagree. It's very good, Antony, not Rogers at all. No, we've got to credit where credit's due, but thanks for the support.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make fun and banter, but that's how useful trading is. But 50–60% of trade, if not more, come from the forum of this particular Zoom trading room. Yeah. I miss stuff, you spot it, we do it together. I'll put your name down, Tony. So it goes right. We'll all congratulate you. If it goes wrong, you have permission to, it's my fault because I okayed it. So you can win-win on that one. There's a win-win for you. What are we going? 04, eh? 9, 8, 80, 90. We'll call it 91. 90, 90. You know what I mean? Call that 91 as a stop loss. And don't forget, when you're doing calculations, try and ignore that, make a habit of it. Because that's what confuses people. They think it's gone up by 15 pips. No, it's gone up by 1.5 pips. Slight difference. What is it now? 130 at the time. Okay, Antonio, like I said, I'm in the queue in there. I'm going to do this one. Just give me a moment, take a few seconds. If I like it, I'll have to give all the 0.02 and all that carry on. One guy asked me, what does that mean? I just looked the same as that. Come on. Just a second. Oh, here we are. Okay, good question, Sunday. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we need. Quite simple. You've got to have it. No more, no less. Okay. To get the calculator, it's not for shares. That you get on your stock market college thing when you log in. That's for shares. Ah, he likes it. That's for shares. Okay. For everything else but shares, you go to the live chat. You know what that is on the portal or wherever it is. And then you go to technical support and be put on your laptop. You have to go to the App Store for your phone, but on your laptop, and then you'll see, it doesn't matter whether you got 500, 200, whatever it is, you'll now work out your risk per micro and you can extrapolate it from there. Just like you need to give the values now, okay? Just a second, just gonna have to be patient with you. I'm very sorry about that. And thanks, that's the sort of thing you want, Pietro. I'm busy trying to do values of that. You know the scoring, just help the person out. That's why you work as a family, as a team. Team's the right word. Okay. Is 0.1 1 2 5 and 230. Okay. So it's nice round figures. I can do it in my head, so it saves a bit of time. Keep pressing the thing. 0.03. That's 375. 590. No, it's 230. So it's 690. Sorry, 690. 125 at 500 on the dot. 690 and 230 is 729. Sorted, good stuff. It's out of the way. Yeah, we keep missing that, Lorenzo, that damn thing. We keep sodding missing it. And I wanted to do the other day, guys didn't want to, or whatever, try to push it a bit, didn't want to. So I said, what am I doing now? Okay, so you all got that now. Have I got it down? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Exactly. Right. Yeah. So CHF JPI, let's see who's perhaps chasing now. Yeah. This was mentioned a couple of days ago, around about these levels. I don't know why they didn't. I put out the office to send out. For some reason they didn't. I don't know. I was highly miffed about that because it was a very good one. I'm not here chasing it now. I'm having a problem with buying it. I certainly ain't going to sell it, but I just wanted a confirmation of a pullback, or a breakthrough. If it breaks through, what's the distance in the next move up to here? 80 pips is not enough. Let's go to the weekly. That's 400. That's easy. We can get something of a breakthrough or a pullback. The pullback, my friend, I think it's going to be a decent one to get it. Maybe to back down to here, which is 146.80. That's only about 60, 70 pips away. A breakthrough or pullback. I think we might get some profit taking these levels. The best way to look at Lorenzo and Company is this. You listened to the ideas in the trading room and said, so I'm going to go for it. You bought it here. Can you see the resistance there? Because if you can't, I know Vision works very well. I suggest you go there. It's going to be facetious. It's obviously there. So what are you going to do? You're going to hang on in there and maybe see it all further away, or you're thinking, I've made 130, I've made 140 pips. It hasn't broken through, broken through there. Are you going to hold it, or are you going to take profit? What are you going to do, Lorenzo? Well, I'm hoping that's a rhetorical question. I'm hoping you're going to say, well, you might modify your stop and then maybe pair your position to and bank a few of your, a few of your volume. You maybe cut your position as well as close it. But a lot of people just say, sod it, I'm going to take profit. What the hell? As soon as you start selling off to exit as well as selling short, cumulatively, obviously a lot of people do it, you'd be reducing the price. Are we on the same page on that one? So I personally wouldn't chase it here, but totally good on it. CHF at the moment, of all the, I mentioned yesterday, the 8 well-known cross major currencies is the strongest of the lot at the moment. At the moment, it might change. And I want to mention again, if you've got a moment, trade comes first. I just want to clarify this. People are in platform trading, and they look to the pink, you can patch your position. Morris mentioned the other day, we didn't know that. Some guys trading still didn't realize that. If you've got more than one micro, clearly you can't go half a micro. If you've got more than one micro, you can partially close and let the other run. You have to close the entire trade. Does everybody know how to do that? If you do, we'll move on. If you don't, say so, and it won't take long to explain to you. That's what I think, Pietro. Yeah. I mean, I think that's, if I pronounce your name right, I think that's resistance. I won't be buying it, and I'll wait for a better price or a breakthrough. Okay, so please let me know if you don't know how to trap your position, and I'll quickly explain. It's not difficult, it's quite simple, but I want to spend time explaining something you already know. Okay. Yeah, I'm not getting no replies, so everyone knows how to tap their position, not disclose it. Very important. You have to mute, there's a bit of background noise there. That's why I think we're pretty obviously engaging privately when they're on here, and that's why I'm not picking stuff up yet. Okay, so we'll move on. You're a CHF, we wanted to sell that many times. And it's not seemed to be getting the right price. I might get it this time around. Okay. On that same subject. I worked it out, you meant JPY, Morris. I'm the king of typos, so I can't take the mickey on that, no problem. Yeah. Yeah. Also quite good. Let's look at the weekly. See, it came off on the weekly. Remember, it's only a day chart. No, sorry, it's a 2.5 day chart. And you started on Monday, remember? Came up 100. So it held that and bounced. That's my worry. This effort there. That's my worry, the follow through or lack of. How far is it again? Just forgotten to look again. Yeah, 100 pips. That's a fair whack, but still nice to get follow through. Is this coming off a bit there? That seems to be holding on the 100-hour one seems to be holding. Starting to look okay. Hey, what do you think, guys? Starting to look okay. 50 looks okay. 4-hour looks okay. Daily looks okay. Where can we put the stop? Oh, that's all right. Maybe put the stop here, 60, and then take it down to here. I'm starting to like it, actually. Yeah, Morris. What do you reckon, guys? Put it up. What do you reckon? $97.15, I'll do. So I do quite like that, yeah. I've just mentioned about the euro, sorry, the Swiss franc, and clearly you're buying the Swiss franc on this one. What do you think, guys? Oh, sorry, you're waiting for 98.09. You want to get I see what you mean. You want to see you get a confirmed move down. See what you mean, okay. You probably mean on the 4-hour. No, where's 09? Oh, I see what you mean down there somewhere. Let's try the 4-hour, sorry. Bit more of confirmation. So you want a bit more of confirmation? What do you guys think anyway? Confirmational market. If you're not keen, you know what they say? When you're out, stay out. If you're not keen, fair enough. Because before I'm a single person, I quite like it. I've just said, if I'm going to be posting on the Office app, I just want to make sure I get some support on this one. Yeah, you look long term. I'm going to pull out very long term ones. People don't have enough money. It's wasting their time. It means they're getting stuck in the thing they can't trade. And they don't, unfortunately, have the mathematical nous to realize that. We're dealing with a very, very sort of different level, if you know what I'm saying. So we can't have longer term trades. Wait for confirmation. Good enough. Okay, if you want to take it, there it is, but not enough people to take it for me to write it down, so it can move on. Okay, NZDJPY. NZDJPY. Hey, gold's coming up for a bit. Hey, as you mentioned, thank you. NZDJP. What's the other one doing? NZDCHF. About the same. NZDJPY. I think on this one, unless you want to buy it, I'm looking maybe might be. I don't know. What do I get this one? Still a break at 50, or maybe to break through to buy on the way up. Actually, belongs to this one. NZDJP. Well, I guess as good as mine on that one. And if you're shorting it, which clearly you are, because the TP is lower, maybe a break below here, but maybe tomorrow, if you get the top of the candle here and it's coming off, then we give it a stop up here somewhere and TP down there. I think wait for the break on that one. And that's a good point, Tom. But you're learning. See, Tom's in this for a short time, learning. Please, guys, make sure you're going to have free margin after you place the trade. How do you want free margin afterwards? Well, you've got to know what the margin is and work it out. But if you have any doubts, stay out. But you can't go in. If you've got 5 brilliant trades, you've got 10 rand free margin, you get the noise is going to knock you out one of them, maybe 2 of them. I don't know. You've got to keep free margin. Well spotted, Tommy. That's another one we get every single day. Why is my trade knocked out? It's nowhere near my stop loss margin call. What's that? You know, they're trading without any basic knowledge of the fact on derivatives. You've got to have the collateral of margin. Got to have that understanding. Remember, you're borrowing money on this. That's why we call derivatives. Hope you understand that. You're not paying cash, you're borrowing. And the other one, of course, the major other one is not criticizing overexposure and limited capital to make use of it. So I'm happy with the confirmation. Okay, I think that's how I definitely do that. I'm not going for that reason. Okay, that's great. His suggestion was there. I'm happy with that. Well done. Thanks for that. NZD-CHF is still hovering around about entry point. Not much happening with 15. It's a bit sideways at the moment. Try to come off. You see, a few minutes ago, popped up again. See if it comes back off again. It's hovering. Very, very naughty. Very, very what you call it? Economic jargon. That is. JPY. We just got an instant quickly checks a bit early. I know. About the same. Okay, that's fine. Just the gold seems to be doing okay at the moment. Still think it might be early. What do you think? To stop it. Let's have a look at gold. It's come off. It's come off quite a bit. Might be an idea to protect yourself on the gold now. If you got in round about the 1900 or $1 or so below that an ounce, I think you can put your stop now in maybe $1 below entry. I don't know what your entry is unless you chased it very low. You should have chased it below 1998. 1997 maybe. So anything below that, well, you've got to work it out yourself. But assume you got in the gold signal entry, which I've got it down to 1898. We can put a stop at 1897, and now you're protected from costs or whatever. And then at least you're protected. Let's see if there's any resistance there at the moment. A little bit there on the hour, just bear in mind, might get a little bit of a profit taking there, bounce. You know what I mean by that? Profit taking bounce, the buyers set, the sellers are exiting and they're buying to exit on the short. All must understand that. And might get on the daily, how far away is that? 14, that's a long way away. Any particular problems here? Sure, that's plenty long way away. So haven't got any immediate, one that's fairly short term. There might be a little bit there. You can make things further. The dollar's still getting a bit stronger. Risen today in the last about 6 hours or so from 103.45 to 103.75. Do you want me to copy and paste that, or have you all got it now? Everyone got the economic calendar and the dollar index. Everybody there, they got it. Tell me. Okay, I'm not going to post it again unless you tell me. I want people to start, you know, come to the party a little bit on this. Not to go away from too much spoon feeding. I put my number down. I put it down again for those who haven't got it. Obviously, if you've got some bucks, not for, you know, demo accounts or whatever. And I can assist as much as I can. Remember WhatsApp, because it gets busy, needs more info, I'll always call you. There you are, get a bit of like properly funded. So I've got 10 rand account, that's not funding. Funded account, and as I say, if you've got 150 or maybe 140, something like that, 150 or more dollars. But anyway, 2.5 rand, maintain that balance, and then let me know and you'll be uploaded to the VIP. But yeah, the guys should be in the gold. Most of you should have been in it and should be smiling in the gold. A bit bored on the Kiwi one, but at least the gold one's looking pretty good. You should be doing fine on that. Are you in this one, Morris? Are you in the gold one? You should be. You're a bit of a guy on gold. Did you sell it or not on the signal? Or do you agree with it? Yeah, well, not as good as looking as you and me, son. Go ahead. But still good. You did. Well done, Morris. No, it's not as beautiful as you and me. Now, let's be honest. Otherwise, pretty good. Just about you, but I'm afraid my George Clooney days have left me long ago. Excuse my English, what's XD? Sure, I'm being a bit thick here. What's XD? It's dividend. You should have got it one dealie. It was sent out. You should have got it. Sent out to everyone. Well, if you haven't got it now, you can't seriously can't chase it now. Out of the question. Oh, it's the last. Okay, sometimes the code comes out without the emoji. I've had that some as well. Yeah, I agree with Mike. I think profit now anyway, so that's fine. You're on top of it. But it was sent out to I think to everyone. You should have received it. Don't know why you didn't. But don't forget, Morris, it might be an idea to get a router just in case you get, I don't know, problems with Wi-Fi or I don't know, whatever. And say, I've got one, it costs me $249, whatever, call it $250 a month, that's 50 gigs. That's plenty to run Zoom on and all, everything. You might want to get a cheaper contract if you want, where you get maybe half of that. But get a router as a backup. The last thing you want is not being able to trade. Costing you because you're on a load shedding, you haven't got a backup system. Very important. And loading data to your phone, that's bordering on useless, it's too slow. Great. I know you see it now, but you know, look at the signal. Getting it 1898 or whatever, that ship's definitely sailed. Good for the guys who got it, though, right? Must admit, Xander, you're doing well. I won't give the figures away, I'm not allowed to, but I'm telling you right now. Last I looked, you did bloody well. I talk about doing well. This is the one giving you a bit of jip, but you're still in there. It wasn't stopped out, was it? Oh, hang on. You might have been stopped out. 18. No, what is it? 7070. You're still in it, so it's starting to come right. You might work out that one as well. You're doing brilliantly, in fact. Great. If you just started exam there, because it's amazing. I don't want to pour cold water on it. You don't expect to always be as good as that, or you'll be a trillionaire, never mind a billionaire. Vicky, a good point there. I have to say, that is a good point. That is a good point. That's what I say, these things affect everybody. Everybody, absolutely. Okay, Dirk, fantastic. Okay, thanks as always having you. But yeah, that is a good point, Vicky. But so far, that backup route, I haven't had it only short term, mainly because I like if I get out and about a bit or go into the office, at least I've got that just handy. And I'll go shopping or anything. And now I've got access to the Wi-Fi continually. In case somebody, you know, WhatsApps me, I can actually see it. No. Yeah, you have to have reliability. Yeah, it wants to save costs, and I get that. It's quite understandable. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's you just have to shell out the extra because you know, especially you got Tom and you want to do this thing properly. You can't afford to have that kind of interference. It's no good sending a dirty poison pen letter to Escom. By this time, they're so thick-skinned that sort of insult won't affect them. Yeah, I believe so. I'm supposed to there. Where is it? Image support. Find it there. It's going to post it there as well. Give me a moment. There we are. Yeah, I think Fine had that same problem as well. Now we keep forgetting that's been a massive problem as well, which is added to the Eskom doom and gloom. Exactly, it's incredible amount of cable theft. Oh yeah, keep forgetting about that. That really doubles down on the problem. Okay, thanks, Vicky. Thanks for updating me on that. Okay, so there we are. The NAS, you got to buy on that. Some people got to buy on the NAS. I'm a bit nervous anyone to buy it. Be careful. The guy just says he can't find the INTC dot on the watch list. Anybody else having a problem with that? Because I'm not quite sure why. Anybody else having a problem with that? Yeah. Right. Yeah, just be careful about it. It's going to start coming off soon, but we shall see. That's what I think, obviously. Okay, so a quick recoup. Gold, yeah, a little bit of profit taking there, as you can see, but we'll have a look. Well, you protect yourself on gold, you should be okay. AUDJPY, anything happening there? Something about the same as our entry. Yeah, 904, it's the same. Anything happens on NZD's, what's it called it, CHF? More or less the same, a couple of pips up, not much there. Okay, depends how much money you got. It's nothing more complicated than that. VIP group, you've got to maintain, not just have $2.5 grand, you've got to make more dollar equivalent. You've got to maintain, just a second, someone's showing that. You've got to maintain a balance of about $2.5 grand. Okay. And then the VIP group will get daily updates anyway, once you're a member, if you drop below that, because it's on my QT group. The point is then I can just send the banner out, and then the office then will filter out those guys below and send it to that group. The bottom line, you get more signals. Simple as that Sunday, because you haven't got enough money, you can't take enough signals. The whole idea investing, you all know, is don't have all your eggs in one basket. The word is you diversify. If you have limited funds, you can't. It's no good you got $1 grand in your account having 3 or 4 signal sensors, because you won't have enough balance. You won't have enough free margin. You won't be able to take them. You see? So we send the extra one if you have a higher balance. Simple as that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. You've got my number now. If you have, just let me know. Or once you've added funds, if you haven't, you want to be a member, add funds, obviously, and then let me know, and then you'll be added. Simple as that. Okay, hope that's all clear, Sunday. Okay, what was the reading on gold? Okay, dollars start to increase. The yields are start to increase. It's had a big run up on more fundamental fear factor, which most of that's been taken out of the way from the bank SVB. That's right, SVB. Or like I said, they make liquidity for the for the depositors. That took the fear out. As a result, that fear factor relieved it, and the profit taking kicked in after that enormous run up. And as I said, round about the 1900, if it breaks that, looks like the line of sand, we should get a bit of a pullback. It's not just from sellers like we're doing on board, be a lot of profit taking, which is expected now. And when you're profit taking along, clearly you're selling, which increases the momentum of a pullback. So those are the ideas behind the sell. Okay. So you got 2.5 grand in there or more. Is that right, Sunday? Because you haven't, I can't add you. Simple as that. If you have, I will do that. I've got your details. Send me a what? Have I got your details? That's all I want to know. If you haven't, send me a WhatsApp to make sure, and I'll update you. Okay. That was the idea in Cozy. Sorry, has anyone received this AUD one yet? Got a guy on saying he hasn't received the numbers yet. You received it? No, I didn't get that. It's guy in the States, so he must be up fairly early. So now 4 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, whatever. This is on shift. Okay, fine, sorted. Yeah. So just guys, anyone long on this, got to get out. You protect the stop loss exam. That's not a problem. Just getting a bit wary of it. I think I'm not sure. We might have sideways. I think it might have a bit of a pullback. So just be aware of that. Okay. Yeah, would do. Yeah, it's closed. That's why. Anybody will not know the share market doesn't open until Americans open at 3:30. Anybody not aware of that? Oh, okay, fair enough. So you still made a decent. You had the sense to modify. Obviously, done something like this before. You're a quick thinker, but yes, you stop that in the profit. That's fine. Yeah, I know you received it now, so you're prepared. We can't place it now. Clearly, because it's not 3:30. Anybody not know that? You're receiving the signal now, but obviously you won't be able to place it. That's why we often send out a bit later, because guys then can't place it and they don't know why. The share market, remember, has different volumes and opens and closes at different times. Okay, and remember, when you go on a share, you get 0.01. That's for Forex. The contract value on Forex is 100,000. The contract value on shares is 1. So clearly, your volumes will therefore be bigger. Are we all on point on that? Okay. I know the banner will be because I sent it. I'm talking about the details. I've said, soon I get the banner, I'll pass it on to you guys. It's just the details of the question. Well, I haven't received it. Okay. Doesn't matter, you guys are here. I'm talking about the other guys out there. They get the banner and they haven't received it. They often WhatsApp me and I just copy and paste them. Okay, that's sorted. Okay, guys, we've got a couple of open trades there. The Tesla one, we'll see how it goes. Not many people went. I don't think anyone went for it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think anyone did. GBP CHF, I think only one went for it. Nobody else did. And that is still, it's not much, but still okay. It's about it. Dow is about even Steven, and some guys went for it yesterday. It's actually not in profit. It's all right. 32215. Okay, yeah, we're a profit on that one. About 130 pips. Compare that to Forex, 130 pips is all right. It's not such a big deal on the Dow. Get the point. That's why it's good to have this micro thing. So that one's doing okay. GBPF GBP CHF, I don't took it, but it was okay. NZD CHF seemed to be hovering last I looked. We know gold's okay. NZD CHF is hovering. Is it doing about the same? AUD-JPY about the same. Oh, God. Yeah, so it's slightly better, but you can't say 2 pips is better. At least it's not worse. Okay, so keep the fingers crossed on that. Okay. Any questions, guys? Can you just hold up, paste them on there and give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go quickly to the boys' room. I drink a lot of tea, as you're probably slipping in my cup here. I'm in my cups. Okay, right. Don't forget, guys, 1 o'clock. Those who don't understand the micro, don't have the micro on the NAS and the Dow. I'll go through more depth on it, but I think it's very much worth having. You can join me then. If you have it, well, not much point. But then I just go a little bit more detail of the benefits of the Dow and the NAS, and the difference in contract size, and now open to everybody who before couldn't afford it. And those who didn't know that were doing it anyway and are getting margin calls. Some have got lucky and did well, but other times they're getting margin calls because they didn't understand the contract size was too big for them. So those who need a bit more in depth, I'll be on again at 1 o'clock. I'll give you the Zoom ID. Just give me a second again. Micro Zoom ID at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Zoom ID. Just get a copy down. 8 to 8. There we are. It's not this one, it's that one I just posted. Okay, so make a note of that. If you got the mic, you know, obviously you know the score, don't join. If you don't know the score, join. That's all clear. All cool. Okay, I think that's about it. Anything else anyone want to add or anything to ask? As I say, you all know how to get specifications. You all know how to save your charts. If you don't do it right now, right click, go to templates, save your templates. So make sure if you lose your charts, then you can just go to templates and get them back. Okay. Nobody mentioned they hadn't got the euro, the economic calendar or the dollar index. So I didn't post it. Those who need the number, just let me know, and I'll update the VIP group if we've got the enough Tom to be on there. Okay, I think that's covered. Anything else? And then if not, then we can wrap it up. But, anybody else, Dieter, Doreen, anybody else have any questions like to ask? Well, it should be, as far as I know, it should be. Yeah. I'm not sure. Actually, I think it should be on the dollar account. That's a good point. Obviously, I know it's an Rand account. It should be. I don't see why it shouldn't. Never thought of that, actually. Just assumed. But if you haven't got it, Lorenzo, you've got the time. Join me at 1, and I'll get it sorted for you then. If you haven't, just open one. The point is, you're in South Africa. If you want to open a Rand account and a micro separate, I know some guys have done it. Just open it up. Go to the portal, open a live account, choose the micro option, I think it was only in rands, then just have one and just ups in there and away you go. I'll tell you, we've got guys here about 4 or 5 different accounts, all with solid funds in them, so we're trying to prove that they can. So you don't have to have just one. You just can't double up. You can't have 2 500 ones or 2 100 ones or whatever. Good enough. Okay, guys. Are you good with that? Good with that knowledge? Good with that, Lorenzo? I seriously think you should have it because it is opened up quite a wide horizon. And look at the Dow already since yesterday. 3-2. So to give an example, 3215. That means it's about 160 odd pips. You do 160 pips in the Forex one over a day, you'll be over the moon. So yeah, it's good possibilities on these. They mustn't get, we're talking about different contract size. A micro is 0.01. The actual proper terminology is a nano account, but then people get confused. So I call it a micro account different. But the volume's at 0.01 is 1 micro. But clearly, because the disparity in the contract size between the two, 0.01 on one has a different risk factor than on the other one. And, I'll try and go through that in more detail at 1 o'clock. If you're not clear on the maths of it, you'll pick it up in 2 seconds. Just my worry is, guys, still can't get an hour later. That's my worry. Okay, Ganita, you can join me then. Get this micro one. Join me at 1. You got the stuff there, and then it'll open up your trading possibilities. Now, if you can afford the program before you could, by how much money you got 20 grand at the moment. If you've got small accounts, then basically there's a lot of opportunity that you won't have to miss out on. You can do the trade on them. Okay. So those who don't understand, join me at 1, and I'll be back on again after that for okay. And by 5:30, I'll be Zoom bound. I'll be a bit zoomed out. Welcome on board. Thank you, Sandeep. Very good point. Ganita, welcome on board. Good point. Thank you. Alfred, join me then. Great. Catch you later. Thanks, guys.